What's up, friends? Welcome back to the Friendly Food Forest channel. Got stuff growing everywhere. First step in the garden, we learned the hard way. Always get your fencing up, protect what you're trying to do, but we got it done, so let me show you around. I'm super excited. So this was the most important step, getting this fencing done proper. We started with a 30-inch fence with little spots on the bottom to keep the rabbits out, a little bend at the bottom. Kind of tied it together with another 4-footer. We already had it, so we're using everything we had. This looks the best. We redid a little bit over here, so it looks a little wonky, but as long as it keeps the deer and the rabbits out, that's really all that matters. Get yourself protected, get your garden protected. It's a great feeling. All right, now that you've definitely got your fencing covered, let's take a tour. So we'll start our tour off at the gate. It's soon to be going in. Just got some rabbit fencing covering that area for now. Got the grapes. We will be adding some proper wire up top for them to climb on. Got big old poles next to these grapes though. Onto our proper fencing. Beautiful peach tree in the corner. Just beautiful. Flowers got froze off this year though. We're in mid-Michigan, so it's not looking like any peaches. Maybe a couple. We'll see about that. Zucchini in the front. Yellow summer squash in the back, the last 2 rows. Doing pretty good. We sprayed them with a little milk and water mix. I wasn't for sure if this is powdery mildew. I think it might be. It helps prevent it. It doesn't necessarily kill it, but I'm going to hit them again. Can remove the leaves if they're really bad, so they don't spread around to the rest of this stuff. But they're looking pretty good all in all. There's not junk by the edge of the fence. That's to help keep the deer back. Give them a little 3D fence, kind of mess with them. This grape is hanging on. I had to prune it way back because of the fence move, but we got a little bit more square footage to garden, and more importantly, we didn't have to cut half of our beautiful peach tree back. So move that fence back for that peach. New addition to the garden this year. Super excited. I like to get them bare root. I got them for a little over $1 a piece that way instead of going $5 a pop at your big box. They don't all live. Most of them do. Looks like these ones in the front are going to come back. Maybe they got a little bit of leaf. So I like to build them up on a mound because you never want your strawberries too low. But we might need to add just a little bit of dirt in here. Because as the dirt settled with the watering, it does look like we could add just a little bit. But that's this year's brand new strawberry garden. Really liking that. Everything's doing pretty good except the watermelon. Gave the watermelon an uphill struggle. Planted it probably 5 days after everything else. I just threw some newspaper down and some soil right in the middle of some last year's overgrown grass and weeds in the garden here. So watermelon's got an uphill struggle, but that's all right. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll give it some love. Moved our blueberries from out back. When we first started, literally illusions of grandeur. Had fruit trees all out back. I just planted for the deer, essentially. I learned my lesson. So you have to have everything properly fenced off. You'll hear that quite a bit as we get going back here with the Friendly Food Forest channel. But we snagged our blueberries. You can see with the deer eating them, they never got taller than 2 foot over a 7-year period. But they did live. We're working on getting the grass pulled out of them, getting the weeds pulled out of them. I mean, they were just buried. We're lucky they're even alive. So we got some of them around the edge of the pond. Trying to simulate what I seen up north Michigan. Seemed like the blueberries were very happy on the water's edge. I don't know if that's, I'm not going to say the science behind it. It's just an observation. I'm still trying to learn the science on it. But we'll see. I tried to simulate that. Beautiful corn garden. I've never done corn on this scale before. Trying to hit them with a little extra nitrogen because I know it's a big nitrogen consumer. We've had some beautiful soil in this area because I started with a ton of wood chips. I recommend letting your wood chips break all the way down into compost now before you use them. I can show you a shot right at the end. A lot of this soil in this strawberry garden, for instance, or all of this right here around the watermelon, that's actually old wood chips. So if you let it go long enough, it'll be a nice proper soil, and you can mix some stuff into it, you know, compost wise. Mix some greens in with it, kind of get it the nutrients it needs. But over about 7 years, it's become just the most beautiful light soil you can ever imagine, and that's very important to have because I'm on all clay. So you really got to mix it up a little bit. To the far corner, just off of the entrance where we started in the middle there, Fantasia nectarine, Stanley plum, contender peach, Honeycrisp apple in the corner. I mean, we're putting the food forest into it over here. I had to cut down this because there was no food in my forest. So I'm going to clear that out the rest of the way. Nice drainage pond though. Keeps all the fruit trees flooded out when it comes in. It kind of contains it and lets them have that water over time. And it also does stop this 3-car garage from flooding for the most part. So that was hand dug by me and the little man when he was using Tonka trucks. Green beans up front. This is the internal fence here. This is the best fence I ever made. So a little over 7 foot tall, I believe. That's proper. And that's internal. It's all fenced off all the way around. So no deer are going to be eating my green beans. We're hoping to climb these buckets all the way up to the top here and have green beans coming over the other edge. So we'll see. Hang with me. Let's see if it works. Kind of the same idea here. I do got to get out very quickly and get my ties up to these strings up top and see if I want to try to get everything to climb. We might let the cucumbers stay low, or we might try to even run them up to this string up here as well. So looking good though. I'm pretty happy with it. This garden went in June 2nd. It's June 29th today, so a little under a month. You drop down, try to give you a little perspective here. So there's a 5-gallon bucket. It's kind of tough to tell, but you know, the tomatoes are up 6 inches to a foot over a 5-gallon bucket. Noticed the little Japanese beetles out here on the green beans. Didn't know they loved them. I know they like our grapevines. The only real way to get rid of them that I've found is have a 10-year-old that loves feeding bugs to the chickens next door. That is by far the best way to get rid of Japanese beetles. Got some peppers in the corner. Let me take you in there. I'll give you a little close-up on this one. There's just a ton of food coming out of this maybe 22 by 24 foot area. So big lessons learned on that. Do not start with this giant deal. Start with something as small as you can that you can maintain, that you can fence off, and then just build another section. Get a little bigger as you get better, but don't go huge like that. That was a big time learning lesson. All right, let's go in and check out that cool little spot over there. So it's like the secret garden here. Low key. Then you just pop out. We're all fenced off all the way around, completely legit over here. Fun little project this spring. Again, continuing to keep my water drainage going properly. Put that in. This over here is kind of the same idea, but we're just holding it where we want it, not flooding these plants out. Gives it a little path over to that one pretty easily. If it does get up, been harvesting some of these right around the 4th of July. That's how you always know. Let's see, they're a little seedy, but I'm just gonna go for it. You chomp them with your molars. And the seeds ain't a big deal. That's what I needed. Keeps you moving. So quite the interplant over here. Don't look at the grass. Carrots, carrots, carrots. The light green. Small pepper, small pepper. We went tomato pepper over here. Maybe we'll see if we can confuse some bugs. I don't know. So peppers, carrots, tomatoes. All tomatoes right here. Trying to get in and pluck out some of them suckers. See if I can find an example. Like right here we got one. I'm plucking them out. But we're letting some of them go a little bushy. That's alright, we got support. So when I see them I pluck them out, but I'm not perfect at it. Beans going up that fence. This is an interesting way. Now it helps if you mulch over it. But you can go right up, you cut your grass down short, hit it with some newspaper, put something to hold it down, and you can start putting dirt on that. You'll have a garden before you know it. It's a lot easier than rototill and everything. And then that way you're adding some nice soft dirt to the top, and kind of eventually you get a good mix if you're in clay, or even if you're in sand, you know, then you're mixing the organic in with it. But it lets you control your median a little bit, and you just end up raising it up, having raised beds, which is good in this area because it's a low flat area. It's just a ton of water when there's big rainstorms. So you got to kind of have these in raised beds and ways of dealing with it. I was going to pull these weeds, but it's in the 90s this week, so I pulled a lot of them. But the weeds that are left, I think they'll do a decent job of insulating the soil, insulating some of these buckets over here from a little bit of that heat. So it might be a little too hot for them, but we're going to keep them watered. You see I watered before the heat got here. But these tomatoes are coming up real nice. So in just this little 22 by 26, I mean, this is a realistic garden for most people. You could even go a little smaller. I got big pathways that I'm going to have to mow or deal with, weed whack. So, I mean, you could cram more stuff into here. And by the end of the year, this is all, a lot of it's going to be up 7 foot tall. And it takes some resources. You just do what you can do. You don't have to have a fence like this. This is all concreted in. I went crazy. That's why it took so long. But it's done now. So I hope you guys are hanging with me. Hope you want to check out some of my experiments. See how all these perennials come back every year and start growing taller with the deer pressure off. I mean, these blueberries should be 7 foot tall by now. So we're going to see that now. First time. We're just going to keep the gates closed and we'll be all right. If you want to see some cool experiments, I just found out that peppers are actually perennial too. So if you don't let them freeze all the way in the winter, you can come back with a big strong pepper bush to start your spring off. So since I'm doing these in buckets anyway, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to stick them in the house probably. Just let them have a little bit of sunlight on them. Maybe put a light above them, but nothing crazy. And as long as they don't freeze out, which they won't in the house, they should be able to just go right back outside the next year. We'll put some nutrients in them, kind of spice it up a little bit. And it'll be interesting. We're up here in zone 6A, I believe, Michigan, in the cold. And we're going to have pepper bushes growing year round. So lots of fun stuff. Whatever we can come up with on the channel, keep y'all entertained. Keep us entertained. It's my favorite hobby. Don't necessarily pay a lot. But I was just talking to my great uncle, and they got monies upon monies in that side of the family. And you know what I was telling them? Buddy, you live healthier. You garden, you stay moving, you live 10, 20 years longer. I don't know what's more important. And he completely agreed. So good tasting food, good healthy food, longer life. I mean, it's not all about the money. It's definitely rewarding once you get it in, once you get it protected, and once you start seeing some growth. So I hope you follow along, see what happens, see if we can grow stuff 7, 8 foot tall around here, growing over top of fences. It's the very beginning of the season. We got short time in Michigan, but we got a little bit of time. So I'll bet you it happens. Follow along, see what happens. Early Cheers. July, you still got a couple things you can get in. So if you want to get your cucumbers, if you want to buy transplants and just stick them in, you know, these are only a month old. So it's not too late. You can have these in a month if you go buy a transplant from the big box store. So I do want to be encouraging you guys more than anything. You know, you still got time, late June, early July. Let's get it going, get growing with us. Slap up some kind of fence. I don't care how ugly it is. My gates ain't done, but I got old wood doing the job. Come on now, let's get growing. No excuses. Let's get healthy. Let's get moving. Let's go. See you on the next one. This is what it turns into. Wood chips after 7 years. And I've let weeds grow in them. My cats deposited some bonus nitrogen in here. And then I just tarped it off. And you get this, you know, a year or so after you tarp it, maybe 6 months, you can get in there and use it as your soil. So it takes a long time to do it that way, but it's free, and I've used a lot. I'm gonna pile it all back up and tarp it off and use it again. Cheers.